Spartans and Romans have come together to defeat the barbarian hordes to the north. However, over the last couple of battles on Divide Et Impera, we have seen the true strength of the barbarian factions, and I am very, very much interested to see if they can go ahead and claim victory today and beat back these two very, very strong factions. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish, and welcome back to another online battle. As I said, we are back playing Divide Et Impera, and it should be a very exciting battle. I asked for more diverse factions, and they went ahead and gave us. And we had a ton of barbarians, so I'm super happy. And this is also a 2v2 as well. I do obviously enjoy the more larger scale battles, so seeing a big old engagement like this is going to be very, very fun indeed. We're going to stick it on slow mo so we can take a look at what some of the factions are bringing. But again, a lot of these units are going to be quite similar. So for the Romans, we do have these cohort of Architar. I think these are like the late period Romans. I also absolutely butchered that pronunciation. But these are basically, I think, very late period Romans. These guys will get stuck in and do some serious work. And that's going to be the main front line for all of Rome. Then as we go back, we do have some missiles as well. We have 2 units of these reformed Italian archers. So we're going to be able to put down some pretty good evasive fire. In the back ranks, we do have a ton of cavalry. We do have some Marian Legion and cavalry, supported by some auxiliary camel riders. And then we go on to the Spartan roster. The Spartans do have 2 units of allied archers, so just medium tier missile units. We also have the legatus as well moving forward. Then for the Spartan army, we have 2 units of these thorax swordsmen. On their front line, they're going to be supported by reformed Spartan hoplites. So again, looking absolutely amazing as they just march forward, ready on to glory in their heavy armor and ready for battle. On the left flank, we do have 3 units again of these lighter spears, the allied Furious spearmen. These guys just basically here to keep up with the cavalry and get stuck into any of them engagements. You can see they are much more lightly armored than their obviously frontline allies. Behind that though, we do have 2 more units of these thorax swordsmen, and then right at the back we have 3 units of Spartan youths. Again, probably just to go ahead and support that cavalry. They don't even have any cavalry, Sparta. They're mainly just here to obviously prevent the enemy cavalry, I imagine, from coming in. Then going up against them, we have the boy, which is going to be on that far left flank. And we also have this faction as well, which I can't remember exactly what they're called. I don't even know where this faction is. I assume they're somewhere in Britain because these are Britannic druids, but still, I've never really seen this faction played before in a battle. Maybe they're new. But again, the units do look great. Really, really do. I obviously love the barbarian war paint, ready for engagement. This guy's seen some stuff when he's taken them mushrooms, and this is going to be their main front line. It's going to be the druid supported. A little bit further back, we do have some heavy spears from the Irish nobles. Okay, I guess maybe they're Irish then, maybe. That would make sense, as this is their general unit, I would assume, or at least their heavy infantry. Yeah, it's a general, so yeah, maybe they're Irish. So these guys are going to be in the back ranks. As we go further over, we do have some more of the medium Irish, Irish elite swords. There you go, they're Irish. That's probably one of the reasons I've never seen them before. And then we also have some light cavalry as well, which is going to be good against the Spartans. Obviously, skirmishing against them is going to be very valuable, considering they don't have a lot to deal with that skirmishing. Then for the boy, obviously, we know and love them. They are a very strong faction. We have some boy champions on the front line. These guys with 15 melee attack are going to be able to really get stuck in. And we also have 35 armor as well. So overall, a very high stat line for an infantry unit, and there's 200 of them in that unit, so very strong indeed. Got some light spears on the front line. As we go further back, a bunch of cavalry. This cavalry is going to be very scary as well. This is only the early period cavalry though, so still not super scary. And they obviously do have the cavalry advantage as well, considering they are up against Sparta, who just haven't decided to bring any cavalry whatsoever. On the far right hand side as well, we are seeing some more spearmen moving around, and the Irish cavalry moving out to go ahead and skirmish the front line, which again I think is a great idea. Obviously trying to focus down the Spartans as well. You have to be very careful, because if they get too close into these Furious allied spearmen, they're going to be throwing their javelins at them, and that's going to be very deadly. If these guys can get a javelin or 2 off on this light cavalry, they will decimate it. We are seeing some javelins come in, and again, this probably isn't the best target for their ammunition. They're probably just like kind of like a passing shot. Obviously, what they really want to be focusing down, and yeah, this is what I'm afraid of. This unit of cavalry is going to lose a lot. Only losing 1 horse from all them javelins. The next volley will decimate them if they can get another one off. Luckily not, but if anything hits that cavalry, that is going to drop so quickly. As you know, if you guys don't know, Rome 2 works on a HP system where when you the more damage you take, the more models start to die. So you obviously want to try and kind of knock off that Halo-esque shield to begin with. A nice move here by the boy, bringing up some light spearmen to kind of try and harass the Romans and also try and get the Romans to throw some peeler at them. Romans aren't going to be stupid vibes. I'm going to go ahead and form a tight little shield wall ready to hold back the enemy. Also give them some good missile resistance. And that's one of the really high strengths of the Roman legionaries in the late period. It's just all the formations they get access to. They are a well-drilled military force, and they get access to like 2 or 3 different types of formations to sort them out, you know, in different situations, which is obviously always a really, really smart idea. So it seems like more infantry is moving up, but the missiles are coming in, and actually bringing a couple units of missiles is helping out. It seems like the Romans are going to be moving and closing the distance a little bit. And all these archers are doing is obviously focusing down the lighter infantry. These guys obviously have barely any armor. 10 armor on that unit is pretty much nothing compared to the Romans, who are up to 56 in their defensive formation, which is absolutely insane. So just trying to whittle down the number advantage that the barbarians do have, which I think is a pretty smart idea. Taking down that number advantage will help them out, and even if you are just focusing down that lighter infantry, still not bad. And oh my god, look at that, look at the indent them javelins did to these Romans. My god, that is insane. How many javelins were that? Even in his shield wall, they're taking a lot of damage. Again, knocking that HP off, which is good. Immediately, though, changing into a testudo, it's going to give him a bit more protection. But obviously, it's going to leave him very vulnerable. If the boy were quick enough, they could probably assault this formation before the Romans did form up and just, put these Romans in such a bad situation. Because obviously, this is great for their position. But if they were to get charged right now, and the boy were able to get soldiers like in between the gaps of the testudo, this is not a fighting position. This is a defensive, advancing formation to then form into a shield wall. Obviously, at this point, the Romans could probably see it and then quickly form their own shield wall before the enemy did close in on them. But again, if you're super paying attention, you can kind of keep the enemy off guard when they do form a testudo, because it takes a couple seconds for it to switch around. But right now, the archers are doing a good job as the enemy do move into position. We also have some war dogs over on this other flank as well, which is cool, coming into vision. And this is probably one of the main targets for your archers. The archers will decimate these guys. They have 1 armor, and a couple volleys into them will just take down handler and also dog very nicely. Romans immediately forming back into that shield wall, seeing the boy advancing. But the missiles themselves will be coming in. The Spartans are in a bit of a tricky situation. This is a weird phalanx formation. Does not look very safe, but maybe this is a good way to set up. As you force the enemy into these kind of like death caverns. I assume this was done on purpose. So we'll have to see if it is. No, it's reforming now, which is good. We'll be taking a lot of javelin fire on these reformed Spartans, though, as the Irish elite swords get closer and closer, if they haven't already fired. And obviously, as well as that, this cavalry is also just harassing constantly. The hoplites, which is not a bad idea. Again, I would probably just ignore the hoplites, if I'm honest. Just really try and focus down on these flanks. And oh my god, we got an engagement on the front lines. The boy are charging in against the Roman lines, and the battle is truly raging on right now. These Romans are going to be able to repel a lot that comes their way. But again, if they get overrun, that is going to be the problem. You can already start to see a few of these like little gaps in the battle line is allowing these barbarians to get a little bit around the side. Obviously, they will be dispatched probably quite quickly by the condensed Roman formation. But still something a little bit scary they have to be somewhat cautious of. The banner is being raised high. I believe these Romans are in a shield wall as well, which is giving them a great advantage when defending from the front, giving a boost to that melee defense and also to the missile protection and melee attack even, I believe. We also do have some more soldiers coming around. The Romans are quickly trying to get out of that formation. Oh, and this is an Eagle first cohort. I can't believe I missed this. This unit has 400 legionaries in it. Absolutely insane. Obviously, the normal legion is just a normal cohort, or whatever you want to call these, 200 in the game. This is 400, so it's double. It gives a huge morale bonus to everything around them. Super scary unit. Really, really scary unit indeed. And you can see the boy are really putting pressure. The Spartans are now also under pressure as more infantry do charge in against their light spears. And again, these are, Botanic Druids. They have 15 melee attack. Even though the Fourier Spears have 18 melee defense, they're still not going to be able to withstand, I think, this more aggressive unit of British Druids, which are really, really just being lobbed against their front line. So, again, holding the Spartans in place in the center and really working down these flanks, I think, is going to pay very much dividends. And that's exactly what they're doing. I like this move by the attackers, because what they're doing is they're keeping their kind of aggression on one side of the battlefield, whilst this part of the Spartan force is basically just sitting there not doing anything. And this is clearly the weaker flank from the Spartans. The Spartans don't want to advance because of its cavalry, and they're just kind of being held in place right there. And the Spartans are going to have to make a decision whether or not they stay here or they start to make a move and push in and get stuck into this battle. Because obviously the Romans are under a lot of pressure right now, and as you can already see, these Furios spearmen are not faring particularly great. One of the units, yeah, no, they're not really doing great at all. These druids have not lost a man yet, and they're already racking up. So obviously it's very much in the interest just to kind of feint that you're interested in this flank from the British or from the Irish, and really just focus down on this and really try to put pressure. However, the boy under heavy missile fire, and again, this is why I think missiles are so good, is because you can just focus down and really help out engagements like this. Again, like, you just never really see them played much in battle, but I think they are invaluable. And you can just see their strength right now, especially against a faction like this who don't have high armor values. You can just kind of fire arcing shots over your infantry and really help out in the engagement. I mean, as you can see, this cohort has lost 6 men and has killed over 50. With the support of a missile fire as well, they've managed to decimate one of these units. Obviously, there are plenty of reinforcements to come in here alongside the cavalry, but still, you know, a very nice move. And immediately, again, these archers can now change focus. Archers up to a decent amount of kills. However, the boy are really storming around this flank with sheer just scariness. As well as that, the war dogs been thrown in. Yeah, the war dogs are in this unit and actually doing an amazing job. Holy crap, look at that. This legionary first cohort is down to 315 men somehow. Can we see how many kills these guys have? Yeah, 170 kills, 107 kills, and this is all on legionary first cohort. Don't know how these handlers have done so well, but hell yeah, them dogs are decimating. They really, really are. More of the Spartans having to be forced into this fight now. They're bringing back the Furios spearmen and throwing in some of the Thorax swordsmen, which I think is a much better matchup. And maybe that was like, oh, it's actually a little bit laggy. We'll go back on slow-mo. I guess this is a fairly large battle. But yeah, I guess that it does make sense. Maybe that was their ploy all along. I'll give the players the credit there. Obviously taking that initial brunt from the spearmen, the light spearmen taking the javelin fire, and then a little bit into the battle, bring them spearmen back and then push forward the Spartans. Makes perfect sense. Really good strategy. I really wish as well players did more of this. They kind of, you know, rotated infantry in and out of battles. I think it's a really, really valuable tactic. A lot of the time you can't do it because there's not that much space. But oh, also that guy just got kicked in the head. Brutal. As I was saying, I don't think it's like always completely viable, but in like a 2v2, I definitely think you can, especially when you've got a much larger army like this. I think it is a really smart idea. And this battle is just proving extremely good. Like, honestly, this is one of the best battles I've seen in a while. Because, you know, not that the other battles haven't been great, it's just this one has a lot of very, very fun and interesting, just high quality play across the board, you know. This flank not really engaging. Like, a lot of times players do just charge for the sake of charging. But I really like what I'm seeing. Like, you know, this overall flank really putting pressure on the Romans, putting a lot of pressure right here to try and break down and again then hit the Romans in the side. Not engaging this because it's kind of pointless besides like these minor outflanks that you're doing. Like this stuff is really, really interesting. And again, might not be the most exciting to like the average person, but if you've watched a lot of these battles and you keep up to date with the channel, you can kind of notice these things and really appreciate them when they do happen. And you can really tell, you know, that makes the difference between good players and really, really good players. Once again, though, we are seeing the boy charging in. Unfortunately, though, their infantry isn't cutting it against these Imperial legionaries. They really are a hard nut to crack, and that's obviously why they're trying to like pincer in and just kind of cut the Romans off and get around the side. I'm surprised that the champions aren't doing better as well, because there are boy champions right here. But I guess they're not doing bad. They lost 50 men and they've only got 13 kills. They're really struggling to break these Romans. They really, really are. Even under all this kind of weight of numbers. The flank is going under pressure as well, and the Romans have formed up this square formation, which basically gives them a very high morale stat. It basically makes it so that they don't get many kills because they're not got that many models attacking the enemy. But it basically makes them unbreakable, which is really, really strong. Romans, though, are going to be getting a little bit punished on this side. They are going to quickly form square. It's going to make them lose some casualties. It's literally the first cohort down to 288 men. The cavalry is going to probably be able to hit these guys. Yeah, and do a pretty nice charge off there, rattling their men. And even with that morale buff, we are seeing the legionary first cohort kind of waver a little bit. I saw it go down to yellow morale not so long ago. These Romans as well setting up. And again, this is a great target to focus down that missile fire. And that's why I think missiles are so good again. I'll keep fighting that corner, because imagine if they had a line of missiles. It's like 3 units of missiles here. Whilst the Romans are fighting in there, you just get all your missiles to shoot into the rear of the enemy position. And like all of a sudden, they're dropping men very quickly. Obviously, this square gives them a bit more protection, but if they're in that square, they're not fighting, and that's really, really effective. We are seeing more Spartans being brought over, and now we are starting to see the medium infantry charge in. The Irish swordsmen thrown in against the light spears. Again, a pretty smart idea. Just charging them in now at this point, as you're already outflanking them, is obviously always a good idea before the enemy push on. And we're going to have to see something if these hoplites are going to look to move. We do have a Spartan general moving up. Unfortunately, though, he does get an intimidate, so no special spells being used by him. Javelin fire coming in. Obviously, the 300 Royal Spartan Guard, though. Ultra scary unit. 21 melee defense is insane. Amazing cavalry stat, amazing morale, 42 armor. These guys are insane. But obviously, unfortunately, it's hard to use them. It really is. Because what are you going to do? There's no, like, you're just going to find yourself like this, and you know, enemy infantry coming in from every angle. Luckily, the Irish don't have that much left in the center, so you could just wrap around and re-support yourself. But we are going to see a unit of Irish elite swords moving in and just attacking the high passes in the side, which hopefully will rack up some casualties. Roman legionaries doing what Roman legionaries do best. They are taking casualties scattered throughout the line, but still just holding so firm. The flank is obviously where the main pressure is going to be going on this unit of Romans, down to 139. The morale looking very, very dire, and we are going to be getting some more cavalry from the medium horse charging into the back of these Romans. Any breaking is going to be so important, but immediately they just form square. I mean, we should take a lot of casualties forming this square. Square is extremely strong. I remember using it against Darren in my head-to-head with him when he was Egypt and I was Rome. And as soon as you got access to it, it was very scary. But it doesn't seem like there's too many negatives right there, as more and more infantry do come in. And we are getting the Roman camels coming in as well. Again, I don't know why it's being a little bit laggy, but we'll go in slow-mo again. Why not? The camels charging in, hitting into the front line, and these camels are going to be able to do a great job against the medium shot cavalry. The early boy noble horse are going to be up against it, fighting these camels. Obviously, the cavalry being scared. There is also a lot of reinforcements that can find their way over here. And truly, the Romans are just holding their own. Their superior infantry is paying a lot of benefits right now. And because the Spartans are playing a very kind of supportive role in this battle, they're just sending men over to really try and support. The archers have all come over here as well. Again, just to pick off these lighter infantry units around the flank, help out. And obviously all their shots are coming in, you know, pretty effectively in the side. I mean, this unit of Legionary First Cohort was always going to be hard to kill, because, I mean, just look at them stats. But even still, they are putting up a very good show indeed. And we're just going to need a break anywhere in this front line, whether it's on the Spartan side or anywhere else. And as you can see, the Irish are doing a pretty good job. They're just using their sheer numbers to overrun. And I think this was only possible because the fact that, you know, a lot of the infantry that we saw in the center right here was shifted over to help out. You know, these elite Spartan 4x swordsmen were committed. The other spearmen, we've got 2 units of reserves have been sent over here, which has just given the Irish the time to really come around. And the Spartans on this flank, even though they had a lot of numbers, the quality is going to start to drop down now. And we could see about 1,000 odd men here breaking in a chain rout momentarily. Again, these allied forest spearmen are dropping down, and yeah, now there's no more reserves to be sent in. The Spartan general can't go over there. All the hoplites are set up here. This is going to be a big play right here. Seeing a lot of these soldiers breaking is, yeah, as I said, going to be massive. If they can kind of just wrap this up with the support of the cavalry, that's going to really see some help. We are seeing a cavalry charge here as well. Again, I don't know why it's lagging so much. There's not even that many men on the battlefield. Again, it's not my PC either. It's definitely the game. So, don't know why Total War Engine is having such an issue, but slow-mo always fixes out the lag issues, so no need to worry there. Roman cavalry engaging against the lighter Irish horse, which obviously is going to be no match. Obviously, also as well, you have the Spartans as well, who are starting to wrap around. Not a bad idea here as well to send in the Irish nobles around the flank here and just hit the Spartan general. Obviously, you'll leave yourself vulnerable to the Romans, but not awful whatsoever. Spartans on this side really breaking, and yeah, again, the Romans are just holding on for dear life. A lot of their legionaries are down, but not quite out. They're really trying to just hold that line. as best as they can. And yeah, they just need to hold on for the front line to win and just keep that flank under control. A lot of units are now breaking. The Roman general moving over here as well. And we also have a couple units for 4x. Yeah, so we have one unit of 4x swords out here, which is doing great. The cavalry moving around. Obviously, going after that Roman general would be really important as well, because if you could hit that Roman general and take care of him, then that's going to be absolutely massive. Oh, there we go. The lags magically sorted itself out. It's so weird. Like, what the hell? Oh, look at this unit as well. The sword masters. I've never seen this unit before. Yeah, I definitely know that these guys, these Irishmen, have these weapons. Just big old great swords. It's an absolutely awesome unit to be held. And look at that massive break with the cavalry support here. The Spartans are broken on the left flank, and they're going to be wrapping around and charging in. However, the boy in the center just don't have anything left. The Romans are throwing everything they have against them, and that shield wall is just too tough of a nut to crack. And that is truly going to be catastrophic for the barbarian assault. Not being able to break these Romans, not being able to outflank them, is going to be really, really tough indeed. Now, I don't think reinforcements will make their way over in time, because it's still a long time to come. They obviously still have a few kind of Spartan resistances over on this side. The 4-axe swordsman obviously going to be the stronger unit, taking care of a handful of these lighter warriors. Cavalry coming in, just looking to try and break them as quickly as possible. There you go. And they need to rush now. A lot of their men are going to be exhausted. Yeah, a lot of them are winded, and by the time they get over here, they're going to be exhausted, but they need to go. They need to, this flank has collapsed. They need to put a lot of pressure on the enemy before the battle is over, because the boy do not have much left in them whatsoever. You can see the Romans starting to push forward. A lot of these boy are now breaking. And if the Spartans can't make it over in time, all hope is lost, because if these Romans can reform, they can catch a breather. There is nothing that they can do. Nothing whatsoever. There you go. I'm pretty sure most of the boy are now gone. Yeah, freeing up a lot of Roman units, even on the flank as well. How's that legionary first cohort gone? Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's done well after the initial dog attacks, but them dogs did some serious damage. Oh, look at this as well. We are seeing the awesome sword masters getting stuck in. Oh, this is a boy unit as well. I thought this was only available to... I thought this unit was only available to the Britons or the Irish. I guess the boy have a unit as well. Maybe they're mercenary units? Because they're Celts, for sure. Yeah, Celtic swordsmen. Interesting. I didn't realize the boy had access to these guys. Obviously, a super scary unit. Again, sorry if I had to do this a lot. But yeah, 15 melee attack is just insane. They also have really good bonus against elephants for some reason. And just amazing armor penetration. 12 AP. This is like the perfect unit to take on the Romans. But unfortunately, they cannot take on the Romans alone, which is pretty much what they're doing now. And as you can see, they are being wrapped up, and the Irish are trying to arrive in time. They're going to struggle to do so. And again, they're just going to be kind of ill-missed. However, the Spartans are broken now. So even though the Romans have dealt with the boy, the Irish have dealt with the Spartans, besides the Spartan general. Romans are now making their way over as well and engaging in with them. And again, both sides are very tired, so that's going to play a big part. If some fresh units can enter the battle, that's going to be really effective. As you can see, these Romans are only fighting at 60% of their original stats because they're very tired. Obviously, the Irish are also doing the same because they're very tired, but you can really see the differences that can have, and a weaker unit can take on a more experienced unit if they're fresher, which is something I'd love to see. Spartan general charging in here, just trying to break up the enemy formation before they can form up, and the fact that there is 2 units of hoplites back here is great. If I was the Irish, I'd basically just ignore these guys and run over here as fast as I could. But unfortunately, the Romans are able to now start making their way over, and I think that is GG, honestly. I know there are still 4 minutes left of this battle, but I can't see the enemy coming back from this barbarians. They put up a very good show, but that Roman front line was just far too scary. Really, really was like impossible to break from the front. And even with the outflank, they just could not quite make it. Still really, really cool indeed, though. As more and more units do just charge in there to engage them. Really try and put the pressure down, surround the cohorts to try and make any breaks possible. And I wonder if maybe the barbarians had a bit of a heavier cavalry force. They could have done that. Obviously, more impactful charges could have actually played quite a big part in the battle. But unfortunately, we are now just seeing a big old break. The Irish general rushing over. The boy are still alive, though, but the boy general is about to go down. Able to finish off this unit of Spartans. And yeah, the Romans and the Spartans played very well. They complemented one another very effectively, supporting where they needed to. But also, I feel like the barbarians played great as well. That aggressive push, that really try and focus down on the Romans. I guess ideally what could have been a great addition to them is if they focus the Spartans rather than the Romans. And Rome is indeed mother to us all. Yeah, that could have been a great play. Kind of do exactly what they did, but just kind of switch up and focus down on the Spartans. Could have really helped them out in this battle and just kind of turn the tides. We are going to get to go see these two-handed greatsword infantry, though, just doing their magic against the Spartan general as he fights bravely. He was also not in phalanx either, so. But again, he is still a Spartan general. Men of the 300 do not go down easily without a fight. Yeah, this will truly be my last stand. Also fighting against the Roman legionaries. And Rome has definitely been pushed to the brink this day. But a victory nonetheless for the true the steel of the Romans. Holding firm, and we go a nice little cavalry charge coming into the back of these guys. Oh, that's going to be deadly. Ripping through them. Yeah, you can see their numbers dropping very, very quickly as this cavalry gets stuck in. And there is just nothing left for them. Spartan general reforming. Oh, the Spartan general is facing off against the enemy line here as well. Very nice. I always love the look of a Spartan general. This looks so goddamn good. So they just push forward. Such a deadly unit as well. And the fact that they have 300 men, a lot of the units, like, they just get more members to keep the quality, are always so scary in Divide Et Impera. Because again, generally what happens is elite soldiers on ultra unit scale are 200, less trained, less quality, get 300 to kind of make up for that. So you can kind of really push a lower quality but greater numerical advantage army, and it works very effectively. Sometimes you can just overrun the enemy with sheer weight of numbers, rather than the usual total war of just having, I've got the strongest army, it's impossible to kill them. But when you get these generals like the legionary first cohorts, like the Macedonian cavalry, like the Spartan general, who retain their quality and then also get a number boost, oh, they're just super scary. I mean, they're very rare, but they're super, super scary indeed. And only 20 seconds left of this battle now. Romans coming in. A pretty decisive victory. I mean, I would say maybe it's close to Pyrrhic, but a very good show from both sides and a really high quality battle as well. So definitely, if you have any more of these, send them my way. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was Pyrrhic, but it wasn't definitely a decisive. So costly, I think, is an adequate answer right there. And I guess it was also pretty large. I was saying it wasn't a massive battle, but this is very large battle. You know, it's still what, 14,000 men, which I guess is pretty massive compared to total war standards nowadays. But look at the Romans, this was such an elite force, and it definitely did struggle. Like, even though they did beat the boy, they definitely did have some trouble against them. And if the Spartans didn't reinforce, I think this elite force would have struggled for sure. Luckily, though, the Spartans did go for a much more less quality. You can see their less quality right here to go ahead and complement the Romans indeed. Look at them archers, 100 kills on them. Really nice. 100 kills on either of these archers as well. Really good stuff. Over on the barbarian side, yeah, these great swords did pretty decent. The boy dogs did amazing. 169 cavalry. Nice. Kills even. That's really good, especially on that legionary first cohort. That unit is expensive. And then over on the Irish side as well, over 200 kills in these swords. Oh my god, that's pretty nice indeed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.